with us, Mr. Hasan, a political commentator. Let's welcome him.
I hear you. What's going on, St. Louis? Wow. It's going to be a tough act to follow, those ladies. They really brought it, but I'm going to try my very best. It's a real honor to be here today on this beautiful day, International Workers' Day, May Day, a day that we're here to celebrate, a day that, weirdly enough, doesn't get a lot of notice in the United States of America. Yeah, I wonder why. It's interesting. I feel like St. Louis doesn't get a lot of notice either, even though it deserves all the praise. I just traveled from Philadelphia, where I was, okay, you don't have to praise them that much. We're here for St. Louis. Yeah, I traveled from Philadelphia to get here this morning, and someone stopped me at the airport. They were like, "Are you that guy? Are you that political commentary guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she said to me, "What are you doing in St. Louis?" And from what I understand, at least what many of you here in my community have communicated to me, a lot of people don't come to St. Louis, apparently. And I don't know why. Because it's a beautiful city, and there's a lot of beautiful people here. But in all my travels, I've seen a lot of places like St. Louis. Places that have been left behind by wealthy corporations that pollute your waters, that steal your productive output, and then spend it on themselves. But today, and every day from here on out, we say no more. For the longest time, I felt disillusioned, like many of you probably did as well. 2016, Bernie Sanders, we went out, we door knocked. 2020, the same thing. And in a sequence of defeats from corporate Democrats, there were wonderful gems that came out of that movement. People like CORI, who I'm honored to be here with. People like CORI who put ordinary folks like yourselves first in her campaign and in her legislative battles. People who put their bodies on the line to make sure that the eviction moratorium was halted, that the eviction moratorium continued, to make sure that those who are unhoused got the housing necessary. But there's a price. There's a price that people pay sometimes. That price was $9 million. $9 million, the second most expensive congressional primary. That's what it took for Israel to subvert the democratic process, to unseat a wonderful fighter and put a AIPAC stooge like Wesley Bell in charge. To punish someone for saying the truth, to punish someone for being uncompromising. But what are we gonna do? I didn't say that. I'm already in enough trouble, and I don't want CORI to get into any more trouble. But while we were disillusioned for far too long, just as the speakers that came before me addressed. Last year, they said there was 100 people here. This year, there's thousands. Because this movement is growing. There are ordinary folk just like yourselves who recognize right from wrong and who will fight back and who will have their voices be heard. St. Louis, are you with us? For far too long, we've been told you have to vote for harm reduction. We all know the Republicans are corrupt. We all know that they're monsters, they're racist, they traffic in hatred. But we are here to say we are no longer going to vote for do-nothing Democrats either. We're voting for Democrats with a purpose. And that's precisely why it is a great honor for me to be here alongside Cori Bush today and introduce to you, hopefully once again, the rightful candidate for Congress, Cori Bush, everybody.
When St. Louis is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. When St. Louis is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. Y'all. Happy International Workers' Day! I'm so glad to be here with all of you. Y'all, we keep doing this, don't we? We keep coming back and coming back and coming back, but I love seeing y'all, just don't love why I keep seeing y'all. We should be past this. But I want to thank you, Hasan. Thank you for coming to St. Louis. Thank you for prioritizing our community, because like you said, others won't and others don't. We have people who are our elected representatives who don't prioritize us. So thank you so much, and thank you for your voice and for being uncompromising in your positions and for highlighting us. We need people all over the internet who know what they want, who know how to go get it, and who are uncompromising and who will go say the thing. And so we really appreciate you being here, because St. Louis deserves that. When we're talking about workers who have need of a home, workers have need of clean air, workers have need of clean water, workers have need of sanitation, electricity, gas, transportation. And so when we're in healthcare, but when we talk about workers and we talk about the rights of workers, we're not just talking about making sure you get paid the wage that you deserve, making sure that that's livable. We're not just talking about making sure you're at the table. We're talking about making sure we wrap around your whole life. Because that's what workers mean. Because workers take care of the people. Workers are the people, and workers take care of the people. Because I can tell you, the last time I went to the store, I didn't check myself out and then go home with the item. Somebody checked me out, and I was happy that I didn't have to do it. Somebody checked me out, and then I went home. But what did I do? I drove the car. Somebody made the car I drove, and I was happy to have a car to drive. But for those of us who take public transportation, there is somebody behind that wheel. And that's somebody that we hope is doing right by it, because they have precious cargo on that bus. Workers' rights are human rights. Workers' rights are civil rights. And so as we're standing up here today in solidarity We're standing in solidarity with our international workers as well as our workers from this country. We don't care where you come from. We don't care where you work. We don't care who you serve. I don't even care if you voted for me last time. I care that you have your rights and that those rights are protected. And so in order to protect your rights, we need people in seats, and this is all across the country. We need people in the seats that see you. People in the seats that think that is dignity to call out your name and do some work for you. People that don't believe that they deserve to be served by you. People that will go the extra mile. The North Side shouldn't look like what the North Side looks like. We have billionaires who are sitting on money and their workers are the ones on food stamps. We have workers who don't have the money to buy a vehicle. They have to use public transportation, but the corporations and the billionaires are making money hand over fist. We say that we're standing up for workers, but what we're really doing is we're standing up for all of humanity together. So our workers and those who want to work but can't work, we're standing up for those folks too. St. Louis. This is about every single one of us. So when we go to our electeds, y'all, we're saying fully fund the North Side. We're saying we don't want your big box data center in our community. We're saying we don't want your police shooting firing range in our community. We're saying put money into our education, put money into our schools, put the money into health care. And lastly, if you can't stand up to Donald Trump and his administration on the city level, the state level, or the federal level, then you're no representative for us. If you can't stand up to Donald Trump and his allies, then how are you supposed to stand up for us if you can't stand up to them? Donald Trump don't know your name. And why sign up for a job when you're not willing to fight? If you're not willing to fight, move out the way, because I know some fighters. Union workers that are fighters that can replace you. I know some folk in Action St. Louis that can replace you. So as we get ready to march, who ready to march? Make these St. Louis streets hear you. Make these St. Louis streets recognize we're in the street. Because today is our day. And when they say, oh, a general strike just for one day, what does it do? Your response back should be, what did you do? You want to show up tomorrow? We can show up tomorrow. You want to show up for 400 days like we did in Ferguson? We can show up for 400 days. They don't want that kind of smoke. They don't even want to hear us say abolish ICE, but it's abolish ICE. And any elected official that is standing saying that our police need to work with ICE, we coming to vote you out. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. When immigrants are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. Yes, St. Louis, let's go.
Look at Bess. She's Bess. Bess.
We want CORI!
Let's go back.
We want CORI! We want CORI!
We'll get one before we leave.
Yes, ma'am. Which way you guys? Hey, I'm gonna take a picture.
Corey's getting flicked up.
Awesome. I'm gonna be in the background of this picture.
Not yet.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, we only got 2 seconds.
I know.
No, not me. I'm kind of tall.
Where are we going, Bella? We're going a little bit that way. We got extra shirts on.
All right.
Let us head that way now.
Oh, if it's an hour away, we'll probably.
No, it's an hour time.
Oh, it's an hour from now.
Oh, we got our photographer right here. Oh. Excuse me, it's okay with the phone. We can let her
All
do
who
it.
are part of singing resistance need here
I'm trying to stay out the picture. You know me.
at the speaker to my left.
Okay.
Y'all right.
We gotta move, y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Corey.
When I say fierce fighter, when I say Hasan, his name is
Miss Bush, please.
fierce.
Miss Bush.
What do you want to do?
What?
What do you want to do?
I don't know what to do here. Good. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Wait 1 second. Which way you want to go? Yeah, east way. We'll wait for the. Should we just wait for the crowd to start moving and then maybe we can move them? But it's gonna be super packed no matter what we do. So I was thinking maybe we. Is there anywhere we can go that's like quiet? Let's go this way. Oh, they did. Okay. Well, I don't want to. I want to wait till we just start walking because this crowd is not going to. They're waiting. No matter what. So I don't know what we do here. I'm trying to figure out the logistics. I'm trying to figure out the logistics.
Oh, no, you good. I'm just, you good. You trying to do it here?
Unpack the sardines.
They put the chairs out here for us to do it.
And I don't have my phone.
Why don't you, maybe y'all can, I'm going to take some photos because I think that's what people are waiting for. And maybe then y'all can move.
Oh, no, I'm trying to get my phone so I can see where.
Put it over there.
Yeah, we wanted to do something with like CNN too. That's why.
Yeah, that's what this,
Yeah.
So we could wait right here. You can take pictures right here. Everybody else that's marching, because these people standing right here are waiting to take pictures with you.
take photos.
All right. So, where'd you set up the chair?
Future president of the United States, right here. Or not.
You want to? Yes, sir.
Here you go. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. No problem. Nice to meet you.
Okay.
All right.
They just gonna stay right here. Everybody else is marching.
This is his life.
Yeah.
It was 2020. We're staying here. 2 years out of high school, we all
Till the crowd thins out.
what's going on.
All right.
Tune in, or you come to the
Edging towards them.
Of course.
They right here. You keep edging yourself over there.
Right.
Zippo. Communism Zippo.
I got that in the most hick town I've ever seen. I don't know why they were selling it.
They usually sell it next to the Nazi memorabilia.
That's right.
It's for plausible deniability, so they can be like, "Oh, I love history."
Well, that was their last one, so they ran out.
She was so nice.
You're doing God work. God's
Thank
work.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And the fact that his son's here too.
Yes, the sign is here.
Yeah, let's do it. It's all good. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get out of here.
I'm gonna be around this. You're in the right place.
Thank you so much.
All right. Your favorite.
Thank you.
Greg, can you come back?
You go right here next to him. All right? Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, you are.
Yeah, I have you here.
I'm with
I was the president of
Oh, I heard that you guys got like prosecuted, right?
Yes, we sued the university president
You ever need a signal from the side?
and I just wanted to take the opportunity to show my gratitude for how awesome this town is and to hopefully get some sort of national attention because we're obviously not as big as
Yeah.
Oh,
How you doing, brother?
Good people. So maybe this is a start of
Badass with the
Let's go.
All right.
I'm getting in this one.
All right, and 131. Thank you.
Dad, come here.
All right, we should. I think we should move.
Yeah.
Right.
This is my
Nice shirt. What is that?
Oh my God.
That's for me. Oh, thank you.
This is my dad.
Oh, hello. Hi.
How you doing?
Nice to meet you, Hasan.
Hey, pleased to meet you, man. You know, man, thanks for being here. You know, thanks for calling them out. You know, man, we just got work to do in St. Louis. You know, and man, whatever you can do to help my daughter get her seat back, brother.
Of course. I'm trying my best.
Yes, sir. You know.
All right, we're going to go this way.
Oh, that was. Oh, I thought that was.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
You gotta get a picture. Come on,
She's trying to get up out of here.
All right, you.
Okay, let me get out of this.
Hasan, I organized my workplace, the Teamsters 117, with the Legion Brewing Company. It's absolutely your influence. I did get fired for it, but this is the pen I used in all my contract negotiations. That's yours, brother.
Wait, no,
I
that's
appreciate
crazy.
you. Thank you so much. You were my literal inspiration. I was a fucking Rachel Maddow 24/7 MSNBC.
Hey, that's his
right. You affected me, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Oh, he's glad he's there.
Glad he's
Oh my God.
He's 7 months.
Oh, he's so cute.
Good boy, Bear. Yeah.
He loves being
You'll come out to meet Kaya someday, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, play date.
Beautiful dog.
Dude, thanks for coming. Appreciate you, brother. Have a great trip.
Hasan, my wife made you this Charizard jar.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Can I get a picture with you?
Sure.
Yeah, your jewelry's awesome.
Thank you.
Let's look it up real quick.
Last picture.
Thank you. All right. You want one? All right, last one. We gotta keep moving.
Thanks, Hasan.
We gotta keep going.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Just a quick statement. What do you think about the event going on today?
It's great. I'm glad that people are celebrating International Workers' Day. It's something that I grew up seeing in Turkey, and I was a little confused as to why they don't celebrate it in the United States of America. But I feel like it says something about this movement growing, that there are more and more people participating in this international day of celebration and protest.
And what do you think people need to know about stuff like this?
You have no value without labor, and I think that the more people recognize that, the more people recognize their class position, the better our politics will be, the more productive our politics will be.
Thank you, son.
No
I'm a
problem.
huge fan.
Nice to meet you.
Battery check.
Yeah. 84%.
We're good. We can keep going for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to see next. Oh, this is you're doing an interview.
So is this for?
What the
is this
fuck?
for CORI?
This is for CORI, yeah, but the
Where did
here is
this
that
setup
we
came out of
basically bring
nowhere?
people on stream and we talk to them, and it's going to be facilitated so it's local activists.
Oh, okay.
Somebody told you that.
Yeah, no one told me that.
You cool with it?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. We were gonna do something with CNN too, so
you can do that. Come back and we'll be here.
Well, we can do it here. We can just
CNN wants to be here.
Both here.
Should we just do it here?
We could do it here. Yeah, we kind of want to talk about separately. So I don't know if you guys want to do your campaign first.
No, why don't you guys do something and we'll do Cory Bush stuff and then we'll come back together.
Okay.
We'll just be here.
So
when
we
you're
talk
done.
to you.
All right. Yeah. And then
okay.
I think Cory's gonna be doing like she's
Yeah,
gonna be,
yeah.
like, interviewing activists and stuff.
Okay. So, Sean, we just interview him here. I mean, it's a good vibe, right? It's a good vibe.
Yeah. But the other way around, probably, right?
Right? I mean, it's we're in the scene.
No, it's fine. But I mean, you want to go over?
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna have the crowd around us.
No, that's fine.
Me? Oh yeah, of course. And so you wanna?
Is it really nice saying it? It's terrible. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Same, real quick. One more.
Thanks for coming to see
I
me.
appreciate it. I'm gonna get Bear out of here. Thank you so much. Come on, baby. Let's get out of the way. Can I get a little picture?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's do it quick.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna swing around. Let me swing through. Excuse me, let me swing through. Oh, go ahead. Mayday, then.
All right, is this good?
He right here.
1 second.
He right here.
He
right here. More shout outs to my girlfriend in Colombia. I wish to have her immigrate here.
Nice to meet you, man. Hopefully. All right, where's Don?
I think he's
right here. Over here.
Right here.
Oh,
I'm sorry. With the
Marshy.
facing us.
Yeah.
So,
I'm the guy who,
and then you do the eyes over here.
all the time, Mito,
What?
R.I.P. Mito, it's me. And chat, your oldest fan.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
to meet
can I
you,
get
man.
a
photo? Yeah, sure.
This side? Let's shoot it this side.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Hey, how you doing?
Feels like you're old.
Let's do it.
Coming out. We got 3 copies. One went to my girlfriend and my parents, and you've got the 3rd.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. This is amazing.
We're doing the QAnon event in New York.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is your life now, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes.
It feels like you're running.
No, that's what people keep saying, but I'm not.
Would you ever?
No, probably not. Well, 2 reasons. One, I feel like I have a lot more impact this way because I've seen what it takes. Even the one day that I spent with Abdul in Michigan, it was, I mean, the burden is unbelievable. You have to dedicate your whole life to running in one race. So the way I see it is like, I make this calculation where I have no guaranteed victory and put all of my efforts into one race for myself, or I can just highlight real fighters that come from these different communities all around the country and be able to leverage the platform that I have to make sure that their voices are heard so they get a fair shake, because they're certainly not going to get it from corporate media or even the party at times.
Why Cory Bush? Why come here?
I mean, she's a real fighter. I really appreciate what she did when she was in Congress. I thought that it was unbelievable that AIPAC would spend so much money to unseat her as a warning to not just like punish her for saying the truth about what Israel was doing before anyone else developed the moral courage to do so, but also as a warning to other candidates as well. And I see my presence in a similar way. I think, you know, if you're out there for the people, if you're there for truth and justice, then I'll be there for you, and my community will be there for you, and that's why I'm here.
We were at the DNC together 2 years ago. That's when you were speaking out about U.S. Policy toward Israel. Obviously, that's also the year that Cory Bush lost her seat.
Yeah.
How have things changed when it comes? How have things changed in the last 2 years when it comes to the Democratic Party and Israel?
I think the Democratic Party hasn't changed all that much, unfortunately. There is some aesthetic posturing in the direction of the majority, but it's become undeniable that this is a major issue, a major contradiction, where there is a real divergence here in the interest of the population, and not just the Democratic base. Within the Democratic Party, it's 90-10, right? Only 10% of people want to continue supporting Israel, 90% want a ceasefire, 90% want to stop selling arms to Israel. But as far as the politicians goes, it's almost reversed. You know, you got 10% of the politicians, or maybe a little bit a larger percentage now, that are willing to abide by the moral center of the party, and not just the party necessarily, but the moral center of the country on this issue.
Is this a gamble for the Democratic Party? Because, you know, there's been a lot of heat on you the past few months. You went to Michigan, then the poll numbers went up. Are you concerned that in this primary process and pushing the candidates that you're pushing, you might end up hurting the Democrats nationally in a general election?
There's always a concern, but
I mean, this is what the conventional wisdom in Washington is, right? They're saying, well, you and others like you are pulling the party too far to the left, and you're going to alienate the American people.
Yeah, I've heard this concern a lot, but I'm not the first person who's heard concerns like this. They said this about Zoran. They said my allegiance with Zoran was actually going to hurt his chances. Andrew Cuomo tried to exploit that. He tried to really hammer on this point that I was a dangerous radical, and so was Zoran by associating with me, and now he's one of the most popular politicians in the country. And I would say one of the best politicians in the country, as a matter of fact, because he's just doing the work, right? And people are rewarding him for it. As far as the conventional wisdom in Washington, I think for far too long, the conventional wisdom in Washington was don't respond to the needs of the people. Always focus test your messaging and try to find a moderate centrist vision. And we're finding out that the Zoran-style candidacy, that Bernie-crats are rising up in popularity and fighting against the establishment and seeing tremendous success. First they said, oh, Zoran, he's barely going to win in New York. He's too radical. He's too far left. But that only works in New York. Once Zoran wins, they say, oh, that only works in New York. That won't work in a purple state like Maine. And now you got Grant Plattner, who was outperforming the governor of the state in Maine, and is hopefully going to defeat Susan Collins and flip a red Senate seat blue. So it turns out maybe this kind of politics works everywhere in the country, because there's workers everywhere in the country. And a politics that centers the working class is going to work anywhere where there are workers.
You know, you've really blown up in the national political scene over the last 2 months or so. And there was a while there where there was a debate within the Democratic Party, and I think establishment media, to essentially say you're persona non grata. You know, you are cancelled, and it is damaging for candidates to be seen with you. Between Ezra Klein now and the Pod Save America guys, it seems like more and more Democrats are just getting on board with you, I guess, realizing that you're speaking to a constituency that might matter. Just talk me through how these past few months have been. I mean, did you think you get cancelled?
I mean, I don't think I got canceled.
No, but was there a point where you were like, oh, this is going to work?
No. The reason why I never thought that is because I'm a leftist in America. I'm an anti-imperialist in America. This is the imperial core. My kind of politics was rarely ever heard of in American mainstream political discourse. I think Bernie did a whole lot to open up that conversation to my kind of politics in 2016 with his insurgency, with his insurgent campaign that was awfully popular. And ever since then, this movement has grown. This movement has always existed in America, in American history. It's always been fought back against, sometimes violently fought back against. And the way I see it is I'm used to taking L's. I'm used to being sidelined. I never would have ever expected to get to any position of prominence whatsoever for simply saying the truth. So the idea that I have blown up in the past 2 months, from my perspective, is a little silly. I've been getting yelled at, being called a terrorist, an Islamist fundamentalist, a jihadist, a dangerous communist radical for damn near my entire professional media career. But the difference now is there's a whole lot more people here on my side. So it's nowhere near as impactful as it would have been maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I feel
2
like
years ago?
Even 2 years ago, I think. But I was receiving those attacks 2 years ago too. So,
but when it comes to, I mean, do you think, because Cori Bush obviously lost her seat here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
A big part of that because of her position on Israel.
Yeah.
Do you think that politics in this country has changed enough in 2 years that she could regain her seat now?
Absolutely. I 100% believe that. And it's not just about Israel as well. I see Israel as a litmus test of how responsive you are to the needs of your constituents. If a politician is so afraid of being on the receiving end of the foreign lobby's money faucet in the way that Cori Bush was, and that's the reason why they can't speak out on Israel convincingly, even when their constituents are demanding it, then they're not going to preserve democracy. They're not going to fight back against the Republicans. They're not going to fight back against the real estate lobby. They're not going to fight back against the malign influences that go far beyond Israel in American politics. And they're not going to make the necessary changes that improve the material conditions of the wonderful working class people here in St. Louis, and the same goes for every other district in this country as well. So I think people are now seeing that reality. And that's precisely the reason why the Democratic Party is trying to find a reasonable, moderate middle ground here, where they say, oh, we don't want AIPAC dollars, but J Street sponsorships are fine. Where they're trying to find a way to continue maintaining support for Israel, but not get punished by the voters for their support for Israel. So the struggle continues, of course, but I do believe that that voters will reward Cori for being a fighter and never yielding, because that's exactly what's necessary right now. And I do have a lot of hope that clearly people are demanding this kind of politics now, and we're seeing that happen all around. And we're also seeing it in some way, in some perverse way, with the way that people are attacking me. I think that's exactly the reason why people are attacking me, because I'm unbossed, I'm unbought, I'm only accountable to my audience, I'm only accountable to the people I care for. I have no corporate sponsors, and I think that drives a lot of people crazy, because I'm not bought in, right? Because I think a lot of people, in one way, shape, or form, are bought into the system. If they have a big corporate donor, if they're a politician, or even if they're an influencer, even if they're working for corporate media, for example, they have an obligation to their sponsors to a certain degree. And I don't have that. And that's why I say how I feel, and keep fighting for the things that I fight for. And that is a very dangerous predicament for those who control the levers of power, and those who have benefited from a somewhat subservient media apparatus, and certainly a servile political class.
I feel like this is a media story, right? I mean, what you're doing, what this movement is, because I think, to the point you made earlier, for so long, voices like yours were not on CNN, were not on.
They still aren't. You only hear about me on CNN when Jake Tapper or Dana Bash talks about me. They don't ask me to come on CNN.
You've been on CNN plenty with me.
Well, I've been on with
Alex.
you. And Alex.
But when it comes to the criticism of you on CNN or elsewhere, I mean, there is an ongoing debate in this country about the difference, or if there can be a difference between being critical of the government of Israel, being, I think you call yourself anti-Zionist.
Mm-hmm.
Many people say you cannot be anti-Zionist without being anti-Semitic, that you cannot separate those two things. I know you've answered this question 100 times, but but how do you get folks like that on your side?
Slowly but surely. There's a very famous Holocaust scholar, Omar Bartov. I hope I'm saying his name right. He served in the IDF. He did tremendously important work destroying the Clean Vermont myth, right? And I think he wrote a book recently talking about the evolution of Zionism, from what Zionism used to be at its inception to what it's become in the aftermath of Israel's genocide of Palestinians. He was one of the first major Israeli Holocaust scholars that also wrote extensively about how what Israel was doing is a genocide. Now he's Israeli. And the way I see it is, if he, who has spent his entire life in Israel, can see that there has been an evolution with our understanding, with a modern interpretation of Zionism, I think many others can do so as well, especially ones that are not so connected to the state of Israel and the underpinning ideology of Zionism. Now, of course, I have a difference in opinion with even Bartov as far as my understanding of Zionism. Having said that, however, that evolution is a necessary one, and I think when people are honest with themselves, when people are honest with their assessment of what has taken place, when people see the warning signs, I think anti-Zionism is an inevitability.
I'll let you go on. Just two more questions. Is this the Democrats' Tea Party moment?
That's what they keep saying. The Tea Party was backed by the Koch brothers, so it was seen as an insurgent movement from within the ranks of the party, but as far as directionally speaking, the Tea Party was not at odds with the Republican Party's overall goals, and that's precisely the reason why the very same donors of the Republican Party, the billionaires, were capable of astroturfing this movement. So in some ways there is a difference between what we're doing here and what the Tea Party was able to do within the ranks of the Republican Party. I think we're not reinventing the wheel. This is just a demand to make the left-flank party in our current duopoly be more responsive to the needs of the working class. It exists all around the world. It exists in numerous different ways in social democracies all around the world. We just want health care. We want to stop these endless wars. We want to take our productive output and have more control over it, have more autonomy in the workplace. Yeah, it's not, he's right, it's not rocket science. It's a very easy to understand, it's a very easy to understand concept, unless you're getting paid a lot of money to not understand it. Unless you've never experienced it in any meaningful form, and you've grown accustomed to a lifestyle or a lifetime of privilege, and therefore the only time you ever talk to an ordinary citizen, a working class individual, is when they're delivering your Uber Eats delivery.
Anything else you want to add?
No? You got any more questions? I'm willing to answer.
What's the name of the candidate in Michigan? You were called the Nick Fuentes of the left.
Mallory McMorrow is the one that said that.
Mallory McMorrow called the Nick Fuentes of the left.
Yeah. And then she backed away from it, ironically.
She did.
Enough. She recently said, you know, he's not anti-Semitic, but he's dangerously close, and it's still hurtful to me and my family, which I don't even know what that means. How do you go from calling me in a Jewish Insider exclusive sit-down interview, calling me the Nick Fuentes of the left, and then say, okay, maybe he's not anti-Semitic a couple weeks later? I mean, this is exactly what's wrong with politics, not only in this country, but in every other country as well. It's always insincere. Say what you mean. Say it with your chest. There's no issue there. If you think I'm actually Nick Fuentes, then explain to people exactly why you think that. Talk to me about it. I am a lifelong Democratic Party voter. You know, I went to the DNC. We can have a conversation about this, but we have to have it on reasonable terms.
I think I heard you last night speaking in Pennsylvania, talking about how essentially what you're doing here is what should happen in primaries, right? That you are having a fight within the party. You're pushing for the objectives of your side, but then what normally happens is people come together for the general. Political parties do.
Yeah.
We didn't see you do that in 2024 with Harris. Do you see?
It's the first time ever. I didn't endorse Kamala Harris in 2024. I told people not to vote for Donald Trump. I told people that the Green Party vote would have been a waste in general. But I never went the full step of full-throated endorsement of Kamala Harris. And there was a good reason for that. I think genocide is a fairly understandable red line. I knew full well that Donald Trump was going to be worse than Kamala Harris, and I, of course, always communicated that to my audience and to anyone who would listen. I even communicated that to the Democratic Party as well on the issue of immigration. When I was at the DNC, I kept urging the Democrats to be more responsive. I kept urging the Democrats to communicate the dangers of Trump's anti-immigrant agenda, and they didn't listen to me. Instead, they leaned into the right-wing sentiment. They conceded on this unbelievably violent, this hysterical framework that undocumented migrants were responsible for a national security issue. And I kept telling Democrats that that wasn't true, that there was no data, the data itself was actually showing a very different reality, and that if they don't tell the American citizens what mass deportations actually look like, then they're going to end up voting for it, especially if you are conceding on the underlying hysterics that is associated with the necessity for mass deportation.
This will be my actual last question. If the candidates you're supporting, if they get through the primaries, if they lose in the general, if a lot of them lose, if they don't perform well at the midterms, will that give you pause to say, okay, maybe what we're pushing for here isn't as popular with the American people as we think it is, and maybe if we continue these tactics going into 2028, we won't win an election.
It's something that I do think about. I know that my position has not always been so popular, but it's still just. And I'm not in the business of simply winning elections to win elections. I want to win elections so we can do right by the wonderful folks that are here. That's what I want. So even if it comes across as unpopular, and by the way, we can have a debate on the actual popularity of these issues, or how certain things are presented as unpopular in mainstream media through millions of dollars of lobbying funds expended in these election cycles to attack candidates that take certain positions, like what CORI Bush did on the issue of Israel and Palestine. But at the end of the day, I don't want the Democratic Party to just win marginal victories by becoming a more moderate version of the Republican Party. I want the Democratic Party, or any other party really, to become a party that is truly a labor party, a party that focuses on working class needs, that centers working class needs, that says no to corporate donations and no to the malign influence of corporations in general, to no longer put profits over the interests of people. And even if it's unpopular, I think that is the right thing to do. Because at the end of the day, I want people to no longer suffer under these current conditions in the wealthiest nation on earth. I don't want people, 600,000 of them, to sleep outside every night in the wealthiest nation on earth. I don't want people to be saddled with medical debt where 68,000 Americans die every year that would have potentially gotten the necessary life-saving health care but couldn't pay for it. I think that is unbelievably cruel. I think that's unbelievably unjust. And at the end of the day, I know it's popular, but even if it wasn't, I would still fight for it, just like I did for years and years for the Palestinian emancipation.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Thank you.
All right. Sure. Let's do it. You've like tracked my my evolution through
we could do
all the different
the biopic.
Yeah. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you. We love you so much.
Hell
Thank you
yeah.
for coming to St.
Oh, we gotta do it right now? Okay, hold on. We gotta. Okay, you want me to sign it? Sure, of course. Of course. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Sure,
Thank you
all
for
right.
coming to St. Louis.
Of course. I have to do an interview with Corey right now. Sorry.
Can we have a selfie?
Okay. All right.
Oh my God, I think I'm totally.
What is it for? Oh, sure.
Here in St. Louis.
Do it.
Hi, chat. I'm giving a shout out to Micah Project. They're immigration lawyers helping clients for minimal price here in St. Louis. Please look up micah-project.org. Donate whatever you can. Thank you.
Wow. Oh.
Okay. Do you want them to like stand behind us, or do you want them to stand? Or I can give them.
Hasan.
Wait, what? I
Do
can
a back
just say,
check.
what?
Do a back check.
It's like 65. We're good.
I love you, Corey. I love you back. I love you more.
Yeah, I can just like do. How about
Hold on a second.
No, I'm good. My forearms are strong. How are you doing?
Oh my God, have all these new friends we were talking about. So many things.
Oh, they all went to SLU?
They did. They're like, we didn't know you were from St. Louis. I was like, well, not from St. Louis, but you know, went to college in St. Louis. And as of right now, I am from St. Louis. And they're like, we need you to help us put St. Louis on the map. And I said, I can do that. I will put St. Louis on the map. We will all do it. We will make St. Louis the city.
So I know you kind of already did this, but the vision for this is we have people come on stream and then they ask us CORI questions and we have a conversation. And we're helping facilitate getting the right people, you know.
So you want me to ask CORI questions?
Yeah, either way, just have a conversation for 5 minutes and then we pass the mic to the next person.
Okay. That work?
Oh, thank you so much.
Stand wherever you need to.
I'm not going to get in front of that.
All right, are we ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. So, Hasan, first of all, let me just say, welcome to St. Louis.
Thank you. This is incredible.
Yes, yes. All the love. You got so much love here already. And welcome to the Purple Chair series. So we got our purple chairs. This is a spot for us to talk about, just to talk to the community. And so I'm gonna start off though, while you're here, while we have you. How are you able to continue doing what you do, speaking out the way you do, and like, you know, never flinching?
I don't know what it is. I'm just a very stubborn person, but clearly you have the same dog in you. So it's funny that you're asking me that question.
I am.
You know?
I am. I want to know where you pulled it. I know where I'm pulling from, so I want to know, like, if it's someone else.
I don't know. I've always been annoying.
You've been annoying.
ever since I was a kid, I just always. I guess I had a strong sense of justice, and I would get annoyed, and I would just like fight my teachers. I would just be unbearable and an unstoppable force. And luckily, I guess it translated to this kind of. I feel like I could have been a very evil person.
Wow. well, I'm so thankful that you went this route, fighting the evil.
Yeah.
We have the opportunity to make a lot of change here in St. Louis, just by people standing up, fighting back, like what we saw today. If you could give a message to the people of St. Louis, and then I'll turn it over to you if you have a question for me. Like, what would you say to the people of St. Louis? Just something quick, like just something that can help us to go forward.
I think St. Louis, just like everywhere else that I've been to, that I visited, has an unbelievable sense of community, an unshakable sense of purpose, and you just have to slowly but surely build that confidence within yourself, within your community, and stand up for what's right and stand up for your rights.
That's right.
That's what I would say to St. Louis, that you know, you're not left behind, that you are capable of making the necessary changes, and I think it starts off by electing people that will fight for you.
That's right.
And that's why we're here today.
That's right. Thank you. We need people that will fight for us, not against us. Or fight for us, say they're fighting for us, and they're really working with the enemy. So, you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Okay, so starting off, what is St. Louis famous for?
Oh, so much. But let me tell you, people try to look over our music scene. St. Louis has a history of great music, all the way going back. Scott Joplin, Tina Turner, Chuck Berry, you know, and then all the way up through. Huh?
Louis Cavana played Scott Joplin.
Okay, them too. You know, all the way up to now we see Nelly and Sexy Red, and you know we have so many greats. But food, let me tell you, St. Louis has the food, and people gotta recognize. People gotta give us our props for our food. I take people when they come to town. I take them to all of my favorite spots because we got the food. We first got the barbecue.
That's right.
We got the barbecue. But then we also have our own type of Chinese food. Let me just tell you. We got and also just a variety of different types of ethnic food. I need people to come to St. Louis and experience what I get to experience, because sometimes I go to other cities and I'm like, where is the food? Because we got it. So we're known for that, but also, you know, we're known for movement. Like, this is where Ferguson wasn't first. What happened in Ferguson was not the first movement. You know, the people that have lived here in the St. Louis area, it goes back. You know, it makes me think about Dred Scott. You know, the Dred Scott case was heard just up the street, like literally right here, but just a few blocks up. The Dred Scott case was heard and decided by 5 enslavers that said that, you know, he, as a black person, he wasn't able to be, you know, we weren't able to be citizens. So movement has happened, and he fought that, and movement has happened ever since. So we are a community of fighters, we're a community of activists, a community of advocates, but we're also some fierce lovers. Because we love, let me see, St. Louis, if I could think of one thing St. Louis loves St. Louis.
All right, let me ask you then, what's the city that St. Louis has the biggest beef with? Let's get messy.
Chicago.
That's what I've heard.
Right. Our campaign manager is from Chicago originally, but she loves St. Louis.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that there's beef. Why is there beef with Chicago?
You know, well, I don't know what historically necessarily started it, but I will say, well, one is industry, like we talked about before. Industry did move to Chicago from here. A lot of industry did, but also, you know, people try to call us, you know, like South Chicago, you know, and that's not, you know, that's not us. But we're a big city, and we were a bigger city, and we were what, top 5 biggest cities, you know, many years ago, and now we're so much smaller. So I think it's a little rift there.
So that's actually something I wanted to ask you about. For those who might not know, what's the distinction between county and city? Because I feel like there's a lot of friction there. What's that about?
Yeah, so St. Louis City and County. So the split happened. The divorce happened in 1876. And ever since then, there has been this divide, city-county lines, and there has been this morphing of who lives where. Part of the issue is we know that, like, heavily black heavily black populated communities were pushed out that live out here, were pushed out into the county. Divestment happened, you know, in St. Louis City. And then so people, because it was, you know, it was new, it was fresh, you know, people felt like, oh, I'm better than you because I live in this part of town. Not so much anymore, but I think that's where a lot of that came from. Now we're trying to, now people have moved back and forth so much now that I think that we are doing better. But I think also we've been beat up so much to where it's like, I need y'all and y'all need us. Like the lines, like that line isn't there for so many of us as far as, you know, like I can't go into the city, you can't go into the county. But at the end of the day, our district is city and county. So, so if you're in the first district, we won.
Yeah. So from what I understand, I mean, Missouri is a very red state,
yeah.
But your district is a very blue district, plus 43 if I'm not mistaken, 23rd most blue district in the country, tied with another district. What are some of the challenges that you face being a Democrat, a Democratic congressional representative in a state that's dominated by Republican politics?
Because they do trash and then they pin it on St. Louis. They want the revenue from St. Louis. They want St. Louis to carry, St. Louis and Kansas City to carry the state, but then they dog us out. They want to run St. Louis from the state, you know, and so that's a big issue. They, I'll say one of the issues though that was a problem for me in Congress was because we are such a deep blue district, it's like, oh, we don't have to prioritize your community. We don't have to do this or that because we don't need it to look like you're winning so that you can win your race and keep your seat against the Republicans. We need to save all of that energy, bills being passed, money being delivered to the communities. We need to try to save that for people in these purple districts, in these swing districts, so that they can look good, so that they can get reelected. But that doesn't mean that you take away from communities like mine. And so, you know, calling it flyover country, it's not flyover country, boo. You know, and so it's not flyover country. That's why I made sure every time I got up on that microphone, I would start off with St. Louis and I. Because St. Louis and I brought St. Louis with me. And I needed every single person in Congress to know what I represent. Who do I represent, St. Louis? I made sure. And I can tell you, I don't know who most people in Congress represent. I don't know their district. But ask people, where do CORI represent? St. Louis. St. Louis.
Okay. What else? What else can I ask?
Y'all get y'all questions ready because we're going to have a couple people come up and talk.
What are some of the biggest hurdles that you have to climb in this election cycle? Like, be as tough and as honest as possible.
Yeah. So one of the biggest hurdles that I have to climb in this election cycle is people feeling like it costs so much against you. Like that $15 million that was spent against me last time, what if they spend that against you this time? If we fundraise, if we give, will you still lose because it wasn't enough? So should I donate because it won't touch the $15 million? We don't need to raise $15 million. Organized people will beat the organized money. We just have to have enough to be on the map. We have to have enough to be able to get on the doors, and we pay people to go on the doors. We have to have enough to show up at every single meeting we can show up at. We need to be on television, internet. We need to be on the radio. We need to do that. So that's the biggest hurdle, alongside the fact that Black women receive the least amount of contributions. Research shows that we do. And so people will say, oh, I love you, CORI. They'll get up and they will ask me for a photo. They will have me sign a piece of paper. And then they will give the person that they didn't say they love, the person that didn't excite them with a with a speech. Somebody they didn't care to take a picture with, they'll give that person $500 and they'll give me $3. They'll give me $11. That's another issue. It's like that implicit bias. Like, it's good enough for us to mother. It's good enough for us it's good enough for us to be, you know, these strong electorate within the party, but it's not good enough for us to lead in the way to where you show it with your money so we can get in the seat. Let me say, I need the big money out of politics. I don't want you to have to spend money to get us in these seats. I don't. You need that money in your pocket. But we're not there right now, so I need help to be able to get there. So you say be as honest as I can. That is the thing that is the biggest barrier, is people feeling like people extract, but then they're like, you know what it feels like sometimes? I'm gonna be real. It feels like tap dancing. Like, come tap dance for me. And then I'll see if I want to toss something out to you. And it's sad because I do this work because I love you. I do this work because you mean enough to me.
So we didn't volunteer because we love you.
And so I do this work because I need to be what I needed. When I was asleep in a car, around the corner, on the street with my kids, and elected officials were acting like people like me, like we weren't worthy of their respect or even their time. I want to be what I needed. When I was hungry and I was only feeding my kids some days and not feeding myself, I want to be what I needed. When my friends were dying from drug overdoses or dying being shot back in the 90s over and over and over again, I want to be what we needed. When I didn't have health care, I want to be what I needed when I showed up and the nurse looked at me like, well, you ain't got the money to be here. You're going to have to go to another hospital. I want to be what I needed. And so when people treat it like it sounds good and you got me all inspired and I'm so happy that you did that for me, but I can't waste my dollars on you to get you in this seat, it hurts. It hurts. And I'll say this lastly. When I have people in the media who put out these horrible, you know, these lies about me, when you know good damn well that it's not right, when you know that my work is actually for the people, when you know that we are doing everything we can, I'm breaking my back for my community because that's what we deserve, when you know that the joke that's in the seat don't give a dang about the people of St. Louis, when you know that he is funded by Republicans to do the work to stop us from moving forward, when you know that and you still run these articles against us, that is, I just can't understand. I don't understand. Because if I do things well, St. Louis prospers. Every single person. I need every person to do amazing. I don't even just want you to do well. I want you to kick ass. I want you to do so well to where your kids feel it. That's what I need. And I'm going to work hard to get you there. And so what I don't need is for people lying on me, for people spitting on my name, for people making this stuff to make me seem like I'm not, you know, making me be who they want me to be. Those are the barriers.
Damn.
I love y'all back.
All right, I got one last question.
Okay.
And,
don't make me cry this time.
I'm sorry. See, they're gonna hit me with that attack ad now. They're gonna be like, he made Corey Bush
make Corey cry. How dare you?
CNN story tomorrow. So we talked about the hurdles, but it's not a secret that you were made out to be an example for doing something that is expected of politicians to do in theory, which is to say the truth and to fight for justice.
Yes.
No matter how powerful the forces are in opposition. But since then, do you feel like the attitude shift has been dramatic and that more and more people now recognize exactly what you were saying about both Israel's influence on American democracy, but also what Israel was doing being completely unacceptable, a genocide?
Absolutely.
Is there hope?
There is hope. There's so much hope, because when I first entered Congress, I would not have thought that on this issue we would be where we are right now.
Yes.
People didn't even want to hear us say the word Palestine. And now everybody says it. You know, everybody, and so many people are recognizing Palestine. So many people are recognizing that what happened could have been avoided. You know, so many lives could be saved right now had people listened. So I do think the tide has changed, because also people are, I think AIPAC overplayed their hand. So did Netanyahu and his government. They've overplayed their hand. AIPAC thought by taking out me and Jamal Bowman the way that they did, we won. We tough. Not only we won, we tough. We took out 2 Black Caucus members in their faces. How about that? They overplayed their hand though, because what they did was the world wanted to know, wait a minute, how did that happen? What happened? And when the world started asking what happened, they found AIPAC there. And now everybody is woke. Everybody has come to the conclusion that we don't want some group who lobbies for a foreign government, regardless of what nation it is, to dictate who is the representative in St. Louis or in Detroit or in any other city. So the tide has turned, but we need more. We need more people speaking up. We need more people to hop on these podcasts like that you're doing. We need more people that will use their platform. Y'all, it's basic humanity. It's basic humanity. We care the same way for Palestinians that we care for Cubans, for Somalis, for the Uyghur community. We care for each and every person. And the thing is, we don't put anyone supreme over another. Because baby, your blood like mine. We bleed the same way, you know? And as an elected official, it's the same thing. And your elected officials you don't serve your electeds. And that's the place that we're in. We serve you. So, but the tide has turned because people are saying we don't want AIPAC or big crypto, big real estate, big pharma, big oil, war, whoever. We don't want any of them dictating our elections. And we don't want our elected officials being lobbied by them the way they are. So the tide has turned tremendously. And look at all the candidates running.
Yeah.
It's candidates all across the country, you all saying they're not taking AIPAC money.
Yeah. And not only that, but there's also, it's not even just about refusing to take AIPAC money, because we all know that some people just say that,
they say it,
but there are different groups like DMFI and other subsidiaries that will still funnel resources into candidates that they know will end up working not at the behest of their citizens, not at the behest of their constituents, but serve the purpose of these big corporations or even sometimes foreign countries.
Right.
What I always try to communicate to politicians I talk to, the candidates I talk to, is you have to be saying things that make it impossible for AIPAC to give you money. And not just AIPAC, but DMFI and United Democracy Project and all these other companies, all these other lobbying organizations. They have to know where you stand on this issue. That they couldn't even fathom giving you the money. And I think that's what a lot of even Democrats are trying to message around right now, or they talk out of both sides of their mouth. They say, oh yeah, we're not taking a dime on AIPAC, but other lobbyists, that's fine. They're donors, that's fine. And they try to find this reasonable middle ground where genocide is black or white.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
ICE.
It
It's the
is
same,
what it is.
and
Right.
even on the domestic level, it's the same with ICE, right?
Yeah.
This is a black and white issue. Like there's no focus group tested message that you can arrive at. That you have to speak with conviction.
That's right.
And you have to speak for truth and justice, and you really do that, and that's precisely why I'm so fortunate to be here and I feel honored that I can even share this space with you. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for exciting the people of St. Louis today.
Whoever is going to ask questions.
Is there a worker